British Prime Minister Theresa May is continuing her tour of Africa in Nigeria. Aside from discussions on trade, May is set to tackle the issue of human trafficking with President Muhammadu Buhari. She will also meet with survivors of slavery in Lagos. Theresa May is due to announce a new joint project with France to strengthen Niger and Nigeria's borders. She has already pledged $5 billion towards African economies. Well, let's go to Phil Ihaza in Abuja now for more on the UK Prime Minister's visit. Phil, this week we've seen the West putting its cards on the table about its intention for key African economies, namely Kenya, South Africa and Nigeria. Is there room for mutual benefit, though, for African countries and the West, using the United Kingdom as an example?
Thank you so much, Beatrice, for that question. Now, I'll look at it in two forms. The first one, talking about the interest from the Western nations, the Western European nations to Nigeria. Now, barely 7 months from now, precisely on the 29th of March 2019, Britain will be exiting or leaving the European Union nations. Now, that is a major period in the economic trend of Britain, and it is wise for them to start looking at other options of investment, trade relations and partnerships. The recent visit in South Africa by UK Prime Minister Theresa May, she already stated that she would want the UK to be a leading trade partner with Africa among the G7 nations, although analysts have argued that they might have a lot of catching up to do, because if you look at the major trading partners with Africa, for example, two countries in the G7, US and China. China is nearly reaching $200 billion in trade. US is about $60 billion in trade, but the UK is just about $46 billion in trade, and that really means that they have a lot of catching up to do. However, Theresa May also stated that they are looking to invest £4 billion, which is approximately $5.1 billion of additional investment to Africa. Now, let's look at what Africa is going to gain with this visit. Now, Africa is having about 70% of youthful population, which means also that they have a strong workforce, which has been largely neglected due to the issue of high level of unemployment. Also, Africa's economy is seen to double in the next 15 years towards 2030. So definitely this is the reason why they are coming, but it's good for African business, definitely.
Well, Phil, this is Theresa May's first state visit to Africa. Do take us through Nigeria's relationship with the UK under the different administrations.
I think I'll just best quote, the late President Yaradura's, summary of Nigeria's view towards the UK when he was talking about the cultural links and, historical links with the UK. He stated that, UK is the preferred partner in development in Nigeria. I mean, let's look at the fact that UK really has had a good relation in terms of trade with Nigeria over the past years. Nigeria is a Commonwealth, among the Commonwealth nations of the UK. In 2011, the former UK Prime Minister David Cameron paid a visit to Nigeria, and guess what? He went to the commercial nerve center of the country, Lagos. That would also be for obvious reasons, because he stated the fact that he was amazed at the development, the pace at which there was growth in the economy and other factors of growth in the economy. So in the past years, it has been positive. It has been growing in terms of trade and relations with different administrations. There was a bit of a stir in social media in 2016, however, when the current President Muhammadu Buhari paid a visit to the UK, and the same former UK Prime Minister then, David Cameron, made a statement talking about the fact that Nigeria was fantastically corrupt. It made a social media stir, yes, but it really didn't affect so much of the business relations with Nigeria. And I'm sure that this visit by the current Prime Minister Theresa May would, of course, strengthen that as well, especially in the coming elections 2019.
And Phil, just very briefly though, because Theresa May has just come from South Africa, do tell us, what are some of the activities on May's agenda during her time in Nigeria?
Well, the British Prime Minister Theresa May is expected to arrive in Abuja, in a couple of minutes in the hour, and she is expected to visit, meet with the President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House, where she'll be discussing security issues relating to the recent Boko Haram threat. She will also be expected to discuss bilateral trade relations, like we've stated. Also, she's expected to meet with, people who have gone through slavery, modern-day slavery in Lagos. This is a cause that she has fought for over the past years. So from Abuja, yes, she's moving to Lagos, which will be her last stop in Nigeria.
All right, Phil Ihazu joining us there from Abuja, Nigeria's capital.